千里之行，始于足下。A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Eric Lin, where we delve deeply into the Daodejing by Lao Tzu. So here I have a slide where I want to talk about the original, which is going to be the left-hand column. This is where Lao Tzu writes about oneness in different attributes of the world. Then I want to map each attribute to something in you. And then I want to talk about the effect that oneness has. So to start with, there's the world. Then I want to use this to represent you. The Vitruvius Man by Da Vinci. This is just a depiction of it. Then I want to use yin and yang to represent the Tao. Okay, so this is the setup. Now, the first thing that we talked about in the Daodejing was heaven. Remember, when heaven attained oneness, thus clarity. Heaven maps to the state of your mind, the mental aspects of you. So when heaven attained oneness, there's clarity. When your mind attains oneness, you attain clarity as well. You can see farther, you can see more clearly. That's what it means. Then we've got earth. This maps to the heart. And remember, I also talked about home, because home is where the heart is. It's your base, your foundation. So for both earth and heart / home, you need tranquility. Tranquility for the earth means stability, unchanging, serene stability. Tranquility for you, same thing. For your heart, for your home, you've got to have tranquility there too. So more on this later. The next thing that we talked about was gods. This maps to spirituality in you. So the gods attained oneness and therefore divinity. Your spirituality, if you possess the oneness of the Tao, will also allow you to manifest the wisdom of divinity for yourself, the authentic spiritual power. Then we talked about the valley. The valley is an often used metaphor in the Tao. It represents prosperity, it represents wealth. When the valley had oneness, it was able to manifest abundance. When you have oneness in your life, you enjoy wealth in multiple aspects of your life, not just the material. Then, after valley, we spoke of the myriad things. And here, I'm notating living things to make it clear. The life force, the energy of life that allows living things to thrive, that maps to physicality, which means if the living things had oneness, they would have life. They would be able to thrive. If you have oneness for your physical body, you would enjoy health. You would enjoy higher level of energy. And as I said, you will be able to work hard and play hard. Then, lastly, we have the rulers. So remember, in your life, this represents leadership, not just managerial leadership, type of leadership in the workplace, but leadership in the home, among friends, in the community, everywhere. Everywhere you have interactions with other people. It's all about setting an example for others, or you can think of it as winning the respect that people have. So this is the summary. And what I've also done, I want to present yet another slide to you, which is the same content presented in a different way, but a summary slide that includes the Chinese characters themselves. So once again, we have the world, we have you, and we have the Tao, which is the balance. And we have this table. So the world, you, and oneness. So remember the attributes for the mind: clarity of thoughts and perception. The attributes for the heart: tranquility, serenity, peace, stability in not only the hearts, but also the home. For divinity, the attribute is about wisdom and authentic spiritual power. Abundance is about prosperity in all of your ventures. Health is about zest for living. Excellent health and fitness, plenty of energy. And lastly, example, that means you have the honor to serve others by leading and guiding them. So this is it. These are the benefits of attaining oneness as they apply to the world and as they apply to you. So this slide is mostly similar to what you had seen before. Well, we have the different aspects of the world. This is what Lao Tzu wrote about, and we're symbolizing using the globe. This is the world. It's got the atmosphere, which is heaven. It's got the ground level, which is the stability part. Living on it, all the human beings worshiping the gods, living in valleys, all the living things, all the rulers over them. We map that to the you level, the personal level. So that's all about your mind, your heart, whether or not there's stability and tranquility there. Spirituality, do you have divinity? Do you have faith? Do you have belief? About wealth, different aspects of wealth, not just material. Physicality, energy, health, fitness, all that. And leadership, that's about you and your interactions with other people. So let's see what happens when there's loss of oneness, loss leading to the lack of benefits that we saw in section 1. So when heaven lacks clarity, the consequence is that it breaks apart. So rain and storm is what we used, but more relevant is the fact that when your mind is scattered and fragmented, you've got chaotic thoughts. You are not able to think in the same coherent manner. And then there's heart, representing stability of the earth. What about stability in the heart? Well, the consequence of not having the tranquility is the eruption and anger, the rage that you can get into. Then we talked about how when the gods lacked the divinity brought about by oneness, then the consequence is that they will vanish. When you lack the same divinity brought about by oneness, then your own spiritual nature can seem to vanish. You can feel empty and lost. So same idea, but applied to the personal level. Then we get to the valley once again. So the abundance and prosperity now become lacking. It becomes, the valley is withering. The valley has become withered. And same applies to the different aspects of wealth in your life. they too will begin to wither. Next, we have the living things representing physicality, your physical biological body, and living things lacking the life brought about by oneness will become extinct. You, without oneness, will have declining health, which can lead to death, and that's the personal extinction. Lastly, rulers without the example, the ability to set standard brought about by oneness, they will be rejected. Toppled is the term that Lao Tzu used. When you are not able to demonstrate your own standards and living by example, you too will no longer be respected. You too will not be looked upon for suggestions and advice. No one will decide to follow your example. Your authority is likewise rejected. So these are the consequences. They are the opposite of the previous slide that we looked at. And I think these are all pretty easy to understand once we have the master key to decipher everything. So we just have to do one more thing. We just have to bring in the world again and you again and the table with the Mandarin characters. So here we are. As I mentioned, your thinking becomes fragmented and chaotic. That's the first row here, break apart. You're given to fits of anger and rage. That's the second row here. You feel lost without your spiritual practice. That's the vanish and empty. You're mired in scarcity and debt. That's the wither part. Your wealth is withering. You suffer from serious health issues. That is the living things, physicality mapping, going extinct. And then lastly, with the leadership part, you lose credibility in the eyes of others. Why should they believe you when you don't even have all of your ducks in a row? You don't have it all together. Why should they listen to you? That is the situation when you lose the oneness of the Tao. Okay, wow. So here's what we have done so far. We have talked about the benefits that oneness will bring in different aspects of your life. Now, looking at this slide, we also see all the negative consequences when you're lacking that, when you don't have the benefits that oneness brings. So let's put the two together in the next slide. This will clarify everything. So first of all, the benefits of attaining oneness, and all I'm doing here is that I'm writing the same thing except presenting it in a slightly different way. All the benefits that you've already seen several times now, the clarity, tranquility, divinity, and by divinity, I mean spiritual power at the personal level, abundance, meaning prosperity, life as in health, energy level, standard, setting an example. So these are the benefits of attaining oneness. Then we just looked at the consequence of lacking the above. Break apart, that's the fragmented and scattered thoughts, chaotic thoughts, eruption in anger and rage, the vanishing faith, the feeling of emptiness and being lost, the withering wealth, the extinction as applied to life and health, and toppled as in rejected by your peers, rejected by family in looking to you to provide guidance, mentoring, leading. So let's take a look at these two together. Here's my question. First of all, we look at the benefits that oneness brings and the consequence of not having them. I think you would agree with me that Oneness is extremely important. Okay, so key question, what exactly is oneness? If it is so important, should we not gain more clarity, better understanding of it? Well, it's kind of abstract. So can we attempt to articulate what oneness truly is? Well, we have to. We're here to delve deeply into the Daodejing, so it's our duty to come to a better understanding of the oneness that we're talking about here. We've seen the effects. We've seen the positive effects of having it. We've seen the negative effects of lacking it. So now we got to know, we got to get a better idea. What does it mean? What does it stand for? We got to be super clear. So here's the slide on that. What is the oneness of the Tao? Let me just tell everybody that this goes on for quite a bit because it's a truly multi-dimensional topic, multifaceted. In order to understand the oneness of the Tao, you have to look at it from several different angles. But don't worry, I will take you through the different angles one by one. By the end of it, I can guarantee you will have crystal clarity. So like the Tao itself, oneness is a characteristic that can be attained at different levels. And I mean different levels of reality, different levels of existence. So this is kind of a heavy-duty discussion here. Let's start with the biggest level of all, what I call the most macrocosmic level. At the most macrocosmic level, oneness refers to the totality of the universe itself. Yeah, that oneness, like everything oneness, everything totality. And I want to focus a little bit on the word universe. It's an interesting word. We use it all the time. The word universe has the same prefix, the UNI prefix, as unify, unity, uniform, union, united. It goes on. If you break out a dictionary, you're going to see a lot more. I'm listing just the most common ones. Unit means one. So think about it. Universe literally means one verse or one song. Now, I know that among the people who are tuning in, we have quite a few who enjoy the occasional reading into science and physics. So once in a while, I get a question like, universe, cool. What about the multiverse? So if you look at this right here, universe literally means one verse or one song. Well, in that context, the multiverse could be different verses of the overall song or different songs in a collection of songs. Take your pick. The analogy works either way. Okay, so now let's extend a little bit on the universe. So as you can see, oneness refers to the totality of the universe itself. Everything, you, me, everything we're using now to communicate with one another, everything we can see all around us, everything is an inseparable part of this overall totality, just like a drop of water is part of the ocean. So we know for a fact that we can understand more about the ocean by learning about the water. It is the same with the universe, and what I mean by that is to get to a better understanding of the totality that is the oneness of the Tao, we can study at the personal level to understand the universal level. So just like water to the ocean, think of you yourself as a drop of water and the universe itself as a vast cosmic ocean. That's where I'm getting at. So by understanding the Tao, by understanding the universe better, we understand the individual better, and vice versa. So this is one level of understanding of oneness. There's more. Like I said, we have to look at this at multiple angles. Here's a different angle. Oneness refers to our connectedness to one another in the most fundamental way. We are one. And here's the graphic that I have chosen for that. So in this day and age of social distancing, we should be physically separated by 6 feet, but at this fundamental plane of reality, we are still connected despite our physical separation. Our connectedness is the underlying reality. Division, separation, those are the surface level illusions. It is only when we cannot see through the illusion, that's why we feel compelled to fight one another. Like, I'm gonna get what's mine, because what's mine is not the same as what's yours. So I gotta get more for me, so there's gonna be less for you. Too bad, haha. So conflicts come from the illusion of divisions, separation. The underlying reality, the oneness that we're talking about here, it's the oneness of how we connect to one another. When we understand that, then we also understand when we are attacking someone else, we think we are just doing that, doing damage to another person. In fact, we hurt ourselves one way or another. Okay, so a little bit more. This is the third and the most important aspect of it. We will get into this a little bit, and we need to talk about this a lot more next time. But I want to introduce this topic. So lastly, the oneness of the Tao can be seen as the one true path, synonymous with the Tao, meaning this is the most optimal path, the best path for you in this lifetime. So how do we see this? How do we visualize this? Well, we know that we all face many choices in life. Certainly true in my life. I'm willing to bet that is true in your life as well. Sometimes we can sense that one of the many choices will be the best choice. Question, which one? Which one is the best choice? It is as if we're presented at many junctures with multiple doors. You can only open up a door and go through it, but which door should you pick? So the one true path would map to the best door that you should open up and walk through. You can also think of it as a combination that unlocks. So we know that there are many possible combinations, but only one combination will unlock. So the best path in life is similar to that, because one path out of many will turn out to be the most optimal for you. So that's a great reason for us to study Tao teachings, because Tao teachings is what will help us identify the best path. So what have we learned so far? We have seen the oneness of the Tao manifesting as a universe itself. Universe, one song, one verse. Our song. We have also seen the oneness of the Tao in the underlying interconnectedness of all humanity. You're connected to me, I'm connected to you, we are one. Then at yet another level, the third level, I think the most important one, the oneness of the Tao is the one true path. We're going to need to do a lot of work on identifying the best path for you, whether that's even possible. And I will tell you that it is. Next time, I will tell you all about that. I will talk to you about the best way of doing that from the Tao perspective. I will provide some examples of how you can do it for yourself. And keep in mind, you have to do it for yourself. This whole thing of finding the best path in life, it's completely up to you. No one can do it for you. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Let us travel safely. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.